Hello and welcome to Just the Issue, your political free zone. On this channel we will discuss just the issue without the involvement of politics. There will be no mention of political parties, politicians, or ideologies such as progressive or conservative. I will start us off with a proposal. Then we will share and exchange our thoughts and ideas by contributing to the comments section. If you would like to respond to a comment, please feel free to do so, but always be respectful. Remember, this channel is a safe space for the sharing of ideas. If you like the idea of Just the Issue, please click on the subscribe button. And now let's discuss Just the Issue. Millions of people have been violating our immigration laws by living and working illegally in the United States. They have been for decades. By the end of this video, we will have a foundation to collaborate towards an answer. I will propose to build a solution within the current immigration system. While researching this issue, I found many organizations providing information on this subject. Many gave the impression of having an affiliation with political or social agendas. I used the Pew Research Center because they strive to be independent. Their mission statement says, "We are nonprofit, nonpartisan, and non-advocacy. Our mission is to inform, not to prescribe." And now, a quick 10-second disclaimer. I would like to say that the Pew Research Center bears no responsibility for the analysis or interpretations of the data presented here. The opinions expressed herein are those of myself and not the Pew Research Center. And now that the disclaimer is done, we can discuss just the issue. The Pew Research Center, in their article, 5 Facts About Illegal Immigration in the U.S., dated June 12, 2019, estimated that in 2017, there were 10.5 million illegal aliens living in the United States. Of this number, 7.6 million were working. Looking at the chart, the number in light brown shows that 1/5 of these individuals leave within 5 years. Apparently, some simply want to earn their wages and return home. But the number that surprises me most on this chart is the number in dark brown. It shows that approximately 2/3 of these people have been living in the United States for more than a decade. When we look at long-term residency as it relates to those from Mexico, 83% have been living in the United States for more than 10 years. People are living, working, and raising their families in the United States, whether it is legal or not. I have always believed that the purpose of government is to provide for those who cannot provide for themselves and to provide opportunity for those who can. These people have traveled thousands of miles because they wanted the opportunity for a better life. I believe we can address this issue through the passing of laws. Laws to allow the control of those seeking to enter the country while enabling those with the determination and work ethic who appreciate the opportunity to make a better life. The basics of the U.S. immigration system is that people are either citizens, immigrants, or non-immigrants. Immigrants, also known as permanent residents, are generally sponsored by a family member or an employer, and allowed to live and work in the United States without any restrictions. Non-immigrants are individuals allowed to enter the United States for a defined time and purpose. They are categorized alphabetically, such as the B2 visitor, entering to go shopping or on a vacation to Disney World. The F1 student, enrolled at a university to earn their bachelor, master's, or PhD. Along with the M1, for those who are enrolled at a trade or vocational school. Then there are the employment classifications, such as the H, O, P, Q, R, or TN, NAFTA. These allow an alien to work for a sponsoring employer for a fixed period of time. My proposal is to create a new non-immigrant classification for citizens of Mexico within the already established H visa category for employment. Within this category is the H1 for professional level employees like engineers and accountants, which is valid for multiple years. The H2A for temporary agricultural workers, and the H2B for temporary non-agricultural workers. Many legally enter under the H2A and the H2B, but both are temporary. And the H2A is restricted to agricultural employment, while the H2B is restricted to a numerical limit that is set each year by Congress. The limit for this year is only 66,000. While we have over 7 million people living and working illegally, we have a visa with a limit of only 66,000. And people from over 80 countries compete for those 66,000 visas. My thought is to create a new hybrid visa, combining the H2A and the H2B for agricultural and non-agricultural workers into the H2M for citizens of Mexico. This H2M visa would allow citizens of Mexico to work for any employer in almost any occupation, whether it be agricultural, construction, marketing, customer service, or sales. The only restriction is, as non-immigrants, they could not be self-employed or work in fields requiring licensing, such as doctors, nurses, engineers, accountants, which are covered by the other visa categories. In addition to open employment, after their first year, they would be able to attend GED programs, trade schools, and universities, as long as they are working. But they would not be eligible for student financial aid and loans or public assistance that is federally funded. Why? Because under existing federal laws, with few exceptions, only citizens, permanent residents, refugees, and asylees qualify. As for programs that are strictly funded by state tax revenues, as a believer in states' rights, I propose each state can decide that for themselves. But I would propose that because their employers pay into the federal and state unemployment tax funds, which are based on the employee's wages, they would be eligible for unemployment benefits, just like any other worker. Now that we have a proposal on the visa, how can they apply for it? The application process for this would be like any other non-immigrant visa. The initial visa would be issued the first time at a U.S. consulate or embassy. Instead of a paper visa and a passport, they would be issued a durable card, similar to the border crossing card currently issued to citizens of Mexico. Simply substitute the statement B1, B2 border crossing card with H2M employment authorized. It would allow for an initial entry for a 1-year period. For employment purposes only, no student authorization. During this first year, they would find employment and establish themselves. Then, there would be renewals in 3-year increments. At each renewal, they would be required to provide proof of employment and the filing of their federal tax returns. The renewals can easily be done by sending their application with those supporting documents to the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services Service Center. Then they would be referred to an application support center, which are located throughout the United States, to have their picture taken for their new Visa card and their fingerprints run to verify that they are the same person that was originally issued the visa, and a criminal background check. There is one issue though. A section in the U.S. immigration law, section 212A9, states that if someone is here illegally and then departs the United States, they are barred from coming back for a period of time depending on the facts. I would propose initially and temporarily to have a waiver of this bar for those who are currently illegally in the United States. To provide for a smooth transition, this waiver would be available for 3 years, allowing the consulates and embassies time to process them. And once approved, they would return with their new H2M visa. In discussions on this issue, we hear a lot of people talking about providing a path to citizenship. I believe that this path can be made available to those who earn it. We can provide this path beginning with the H2M non-immigrant visa. Then, if after several years they work their way into a professional position or earn a bachelor degree, I propose creating a new employment-based immigrant visa classification for permanent residency that is linked to the H2M. It would require an employer to sponsor and apply for them, and by having this new dedicated immigrant visa, it would not impact the existing employment-based immigrant visas. Then, after 5 years of being a permanent resident, they can, if they so choose, apply to become a citizen. In summary, this plan is using the system that is already in place. We are simply creating the H2M, which allows people to work in seasonal or year-round employment and then return home to Mexico. And for those that would like to make the United States their home, the opportunity to work their way through college and become eligible for an employer-sponsored permanent resident status. Then, 5 years after becoming a permanent resident, the ability to apply for citizenship, just like any other permanent resident. This H2M visa provides opportunity for those who earn it. Thank you for being concerned about this issue. And more importantly, please provide your thoughts and contributions to this issue in the comments section. If you have an issue you would like us to discuss, please let us know in the comments section. Also, please click on the subscribe button and the bell so we can continue to share our thoughts on just the issue.